Hello everyone and welcome to Smells Like Teen Angst. I'm Sarah and today we're going to talk about season 2 of the hit Hulu series, Tell Me Lies. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and you ring that bell so you don't miss out on any of our angsty content. Now, let's talk about Tell Me Lies season 2.
I just want to focus on school this semester and I want to talk to guys. Cool.
The first season of Tell Me Lies came out a couple years ago. It was my favorite show of the year. It was wildly messy, incredibly addictive, and I just could not stop watching the messiness unfold. Not only was this show about a tumultuous relationship between a couple, I'll use that word loosely, but there was also a death mystery, a murder mystery that also shrouded the season. And while we were learning about a lot of these side characters, the focus of season 1 was mainly on Lucy and Steven, and then how this murder mystery would unfold. Season 2 almost feels like a completely different show, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying it as if this was season 1, I don't necessarily think it would be renewed. So let's talk about it. If you're expecting season 2 to be like season 1 and that every episode is jaw-dropping, crazy cliffhanger endings, that's not what's going to happen for you in season 2. I feel like I just need to preface this with that. Season 2 is a lot more slower. They really settle into the characters and we are really diving into their stories. There should be a lot of trigger warnings when this series plays, and I think that's important because if you're going to do these tropey storylines, then you have to go like all in. You cannot gloss over them, and that is where I commend Tell Me Lies, that they really don't do that. And at season 2, we are picking up right where we left off with the future jump forward is the same wedding, but we are jumping back into sophomore year. We have graduated from freshman. Lucy is doing her best to convince herself that she's still not obsessed with Steven. Steven is doing the same thing, even though neither one of them can really stop thinking about each other. And so, you know, what's the next thing besides love? It's hate. So they latch on to the hate they have for each other and go to war.
You're right. I am so mad. And I know you probably love that, but I swear if you keep doing this, I will destroy your life.
While that dynamic is happening, we're actually diving even more into these side characters. One of my favorite storylines is between Pippa and Wrigley, who did break up at the end of season 1. But this season, they are bonding in a different way. They are building their friendship versus a relationship in a different way. And the two of them are really there for each other in such a beautiful manner while they are both trying to navigate horrific things. We are introduced to Thomas Doherty this season. Love him. Whether you know him from Descendants or Max's short-lived Gossip Girl reboot, Thomas Doherty is fantastic and charming and plays Lucy's new love interest, who has his own issues, but they're not really like that delved into. They are, but they aren't. And I get it because he's literally just there to service Lucy and her pretending to be over Steven. But I'm sad about it. Like, I feel like they could have just used anybody, but they had to use Thomas, whom I love. It made me think with his casting that they were going to do more with him. And they didn't. We actually get a lot more into Steven and Diana's relationship, and Diana is a much stronger character than I ever gave her credit for. And I really like this journey that she goes on in season 2. I think the biggest surprise storyline for me is Bree. She breaks up with her boyfriend, and he just kind of goes on this like non-existent journey, which I think is a little sad since like it's their wedding in the future. And he still is very much like I can't even think of his name. He's still very much like a side character. Like in season 2, it feels like they just don't quite know what to do with him because all the other characters are way more interesting. So I'm hoping that they finally figure out his story and his journey, and that if we get a season 3, we will see that. Now, when it comes to Bree is like the most innocent girl, and this character goes on a very tropey YA series journey. However, they don't hold back. And I think that's one of my favorite things about season 2 is that while the mess is slower, doesn't happen as like bam, 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 back to back, making, I think, this season a little less bingeable, where I'm glad they're not dropping all the episodes at once. I think that this is the way it needed to be played out. This way that they can really sit into these darker moments that these characters go through, let them really feel it and reel from it, and have an entire arc of a season to deal with it. If we had gone the previous route and added another dead body, which I actually at one point thought was going to happen, I don't think we would have had that luxury. By the end of season 2, I am still yearning for a season 3. Every time there was a moment that got me going, I can think back on those in the episodes and I'm like, yeah, this is why this show is so special. So I'm very curious what they would do for season 3 when going into junior year, especially with how we are cliffhanging the future wedding. Steven. Is there a more punchable character on television right now than Steven?
I don't think you hate me at all.
I promise you I do.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm Sarah. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, comment, let me know what you think about Tell Me Lies Season 2, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.